Often after experiences of war or dictatorship, after political accommodation has been found, it is very common to hear from politicians and other leaders that knowing all the truth about the facts that took place in the past can be very traumatic for a society. In fact, some leaders of opinion may say that it is inconvenient for peace or for democracy to know too much. There is, therefore, an argument that societies cannot handle complicated truth about the past. I think that is a very cynical argument, and it is typically a self-interested argument from leaders who have blood in their hands or who are complicit with those who have. The fact is that in societies where some kind of accommodation has happened, usually the victims of the different parties that were involved in the conflict have not been invited to the peacemaking table. And even though peace is, of course, an important element, a very valuable element and instrument of progress, the fact is that victims do have rights, and that those rights should not be completely ignored. Victims of persons who were killed, for example, or who were disappeared, or who remained missing after a conflict or after a period of authoritarianism, do have the right to know what has happened with their loved ones. This is not just a political issue or a legal issue. Is, we could say, a civilizatory issue, is something that exists since humankind exists as such. We have always wanted to honor the dead. We have always wanted to mark the passing of a loved one. And the fact is that we have seen too many cases in which after wars or after tyranny, those who were powerful in the past and who sometimes continue to be powerful continue to deny what they did and continue to deny the relatives of the victims the most simple opportunity, the opportunity to mourn. So I would say that knowing the past and being able to mourn, to understand, and to recognize the losses is an extremely important element for the psychological well-being of a nation, certainly the well-being of the victims, and in fact, a civilizatory issue. I think that there is much at stake in this right to know about the past, in this right to the truth. This is not just an issue that is of interest for the direct victims or the relatives. I think this is an issue for all mankind. We do need to be conscious about the levels of degradation and atrocity that take place in the midst of human society in certain characteristics and conditions. We need to know that war and tyranny do have a concrete human cost. And we need to know that for reasons of solidarity with those victims, but also for reasons of public pedagogy and reasons, I would say, of prevention of what happened. The right to the truth, then, has a direct individual dimension in terms of the relatives of the victims and the victims themselves, but it does have also a collective, more communal, perhaps, dimension. We all, as a society, have the right to know the truth and have the right to understand our own history in order to prevent for atrocities not to happen again.